Boy, did WeWork have a bad day, or did they have a bad day?
Xbox, Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google,
Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur, and we have never discussed WeWork on this channel before. And you'd think that we would have at some point, because WeWork is definitely something that entrepreneurs should know about. Now, because we've never talked about it before, let's go to Wikipedia real quick to look at what the basic thing WeWork is. WeWork is an American real estate company that provides shared workspaces for technology startups and services for other enterprises. Founded in 2010, it is headquartered in New York City. As of 2018, WeWork manages 46.63 millimeter square feet. WeWork designs and builds physical and virtual shared spaces and office services for entrepreneurs and companies. WeWork has more than 5,000 employees in over 280 locations spread across 86 cities and 32 countries. So basically, it's like a real estate thing. Some people have called it like Uber for real estate. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the, large and short of it. And if you're reading ahead, you probably know that it is not good for WeWork. In fact, their CEO, oops, that was for the other article, sorry, has stepped down under pressure. Or maybe he was ousted. Honestly, they can't really decide what the best term is. But let's go with ousted right now. So, when someone makes the inevitable WeWork movie, consider a remake of the end of Quentin Tarantino's 1992 film Reservoir Dogs. Almost all the major player characters die. The exception is Mr. Pink, who seems to escape, but then we hear police sirens and his fate is left ambiguous. Spoiler alert. Then there are WeWork investors who have seen the value of their shares plummet over the past month. Even if lead backer Softbank and Benchmark believed Newman was a cancer that needed to be removed, their surgery was stunningly sloppy, thus exuberating the damage and hurting their own reputations in the process. And as for Softbank, there will be even more scrutiny on its strategy of pushing growth at all costs. With Newman, that was like sending a kid into a donut store with a credit card. You may know that Softbank also invests in Uber and is facing very similar situations. And it wasn't just the fact that the CEO was ousted. Oh no, it's a domino effect. I can't even do all the stories on them, so we're doing one. WeWork puts 3 businesses up for sale. WeWork will try to sell 3 companies it had acquired in the last few years that handle office cleaning services, group meetups, and marketing services, according to 2 people familiar with the matter. It is a sign that the co-working space provider's new management is moving aggressively to cut costs and raise cash. So much so that they're actually going to their sugar daddy, Softbank, to give them a $1 billion lifeline. WeWork is in talks with Softbank about a $1 billion lifeline after shelving its IPO this month, according to the Financial Times. Softbank, a Japanese conglomerate that has plowed more than $9 billion into the shared workspace group, is considering investing the extra funds on top of $1.5 billion it has already committed. In return, it would pay less per share, giving it a larger stake in WeWork. Yeah, a larger stake in what? That's nothing right now. The Financial Times reported, citing people briefed on the matter. WeWork shelved its IPO this month after investors balked at its business model, mounting losses, and controversial CEO and co-founder Adam Newman. The lack of interest meant it was looking at a public valuation below $20 billion, well short of its last private valuation of $47 billion. It also risked raising less than $3 billion, the amount needed to unlock $6 billion in bank loans. This isn't just bad. This is a catastrophe. It's an interesting thing about Softbank looking at all of this, because Softbank is basically, I think it's a company, Mayashi's son, if I believe that's what his name is a company where it's like they're kind of looking for the future. They want the next to be invested in the next Google, the next Apple. Even though Apple was frankly around for decades before they were worth anything. People forget about that. At one point, you couldn't give Apple stock away. So Mayoshi's son, if I'm getting the name correctly, wants to be part of one of those companies. And so I see him investing in this. I see him investing in Uber. I think he's even investing, he might have even invested in DoorDash or Postmates, I don't know, but he's investing in a lot of gig worker, a lot of entrepreneurial stuff, because one of them has to make it big. And he's sinking, his company at the very least, is sinking billions of dollars into services that, hey, on paper, they sound great. These sound like really cool ideas. Wish we could make them work. They're not making money, but we're going to invest money anyway. And then, of course, once you, Francis Ford Coppola said, a situation like this is like getting the studio pregnant. Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Godfather and Apocalypse Now and Jack with Robin Williams, his advice to some filmmakers, if they couldn't get the budget that they wanted, was like, well, take what they offer, get the studio pregnant. They start making the movie, you need more money. At that point, hey, you want it to be a total loss, you're going to give more money usually to get the movie finished. And that's the position Softbank is in. They have sunk enough money into WeWork that they have to now funnel more money into it and hope that it will work, which seems very unlikely. Because as this Slate article so elegantly points out, it's titled, "We Blew It." We blew it. And it says, we fundraised, we incorporated, we fundraised, we leased, we sublet, we fundraised, we made some weird decisions, we scheduled an IPO, and then we collapsed. That, in short, is the spectacular rise and fall of the We company, nay WeWork, whose founder and CEO Adam Neumann chose to step back on Tuesday. He will continue to serve as non-executive chairman of the board, but his empire is in ruins. WeWork's IPO has been delayed indefinitely, and its valuation has collapsed from $47 billion to as low as $10 billion. What is the lesson of WeWork, other than it was a bad idea to self-deal to the almost comical extent that Neumann did? One conclusion is that venture capital investors are not nearly as smart as they think they are. For years, WeWork's valuation has been way out of step with that of peer companies that sublet office spaces. Back in 2017, the Wall Street Journal's Elliot Brown, the preeminent chronicle of WeWork's absurd business culture, noted that WeWork's valuations per desk was more than 20 times higher than that of its rival, IWG. Per square foot, WeWork was 40 times more valuable. Still, the money kept pouring in. $700 million in bond sales last year and $2 billion earlier this year from the Japanese telecom Softbank, which raised $100 billion for tech investments from sources like Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. WeWork seems to symbolize the pinnacle of Silicon Valley's irrational exuberance, and no surprise, VCs are already trying to isolate its issues. It's a New York firm. It's Softbank's problem. WeWork's real issue is both more specific and more general. It's not really a tech company. And that distinction, more than the scrutiny of public versus private markets, might be the important takeaway from its fall, because it is far from the only outfit that it has pitched itself as a tech company just because it uses smartphones and computers. Because yes, just because your service uses a smartphone or a computer does not make you a technology company. It does not. And yes, WeWork is an example of yet another Silicon Valley startup where you can get a bunch of venture capital funding and you grow at all costs. But that's not how the most sustainable businesses have worked. Historically, what works is you open a store, it's profitable, you build another store, then you make another, and so forth and so forth. But now you borrow people's money, really kind of just throw it away, and you hope that you get big enough to figure out how you're going to make that money. And yeah, now we're seeing Uber and Lyft. They've gone public. They had to. They ran out of VCs. And yet there are still people who have invested. It's like, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. Things will turn around. Like, here's the thing. I know we're not talking about Uber and Lyft, but does this look like things are fine? Does this look like anything is under control? No, it's not. WeWork, for all intents and purposes, operated exactly like Uber and Lyft. They raised a lot of money. They had a really cool concept. They didn't know how to make money doing it. And this might even be the first of a collapse of the gig economy. I know WeWork was not strictly the gig economy, but keep in mind, WeWork was built the same way all these gig companies have been, with a lot of venture capitalist money, spend like crazy to get as many customers as possible, then go public when you have a bunch of them, and yeah, hopefully you'll make money. Hopefully you'll make money. And that's what they tried to do didn't work. It absolutely did not work. Let's go down to near the end of this. Let's see here. Where was this one? It's a reminder that so much of the technological progress we take for granted in the world, cab rides on demand, electric scooters on every corner, grocery stores with no checkout lines, cars that can park themselves, rests on a whole lot of operating losses and cross-subsidy. Not all tech, but particularly the tech that we can see. The corporal, consumer-facing products we like to use. When the market turns, when the Miyoshi sons of the world get fed up, it may all vanish. One of the reasons I believe Uber and Lyft and Postmates, all that stuff is going to go away at some point. So, yeah, WeWork isn't dead yet, but they blew it. We all blew it. Anyone who invested money in this company blew it. I think a lot of people who invest in Uber and Lyft will ultimately come to regret that decision as well. These companies, if they can figure out how to make money, then we might be talking about something. But Uber's been in operation for how many years and they haven't figured it out yet? No, they're a lost cause. WeWork, they couldn't figure it out. None of these companies are figuring it out, and it's becoming a problem. It's becoming serious, and it needs to stop before there's an entire bubble that bursts. Figure out how to make Postmates profitable before you start going public. Figure that out. If you can't figure it out, do as Cinemia did. Fold. Just fold. We also saw the end of MoviePass 2 now that I think about it this year. So yeah, it's just been a crazy year for Silicon Valley. What do all of you folks think though? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are any of you going to miss WeWork as it is? Do you think they have a way of getting out of this? I would love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices get inches a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. If you want more content from me that's not, well, gig economy related, check me out at Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And finally, you want to talk to me or other fellow entrepreneurs out there, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. As always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.